In this presentation, I'm going to talk about how life is in Australia compared to Sweden. We're going to look into numerous different spectrums of how to measure one's happiness, as for example, quality of life, average life expectancy, job opportunities, poverty, entertainment, schools, and more. Because I, myself, am in school, I'm going to start with comparing a teenager's life in Australia to a teenager's life here in Sweden. Are their ambitions any different from Swedish youths? In Australia, you start school at age 7, yes, it's here in Sweden. Then from age 7 to 13, you're in what's called primary school. That could be compared to lågstadiet and mellanstadiet here in Sweden. Secondary school is next, from 13, 14 to 17 and 18. So if I lived in Australia, I would be in the final year, which is grade 12. So personally, I do not think there's too much of a difference between how I live and how an Australian 17-year-old lives, because both our countries are both highly developed and performs among the best when it comes to measures like quality of life and life expectancy. If you are interested in knowing, an average Swede is at birth expected to live up to 79.9, while an average Aussie is expected to live up to 79.7. Then if you look past all the infant deaths, both countries have a life expectancy of around 85 years old. There is 22.8 million people who lives in Australia, and almost 25% of them lives in the capital, which is Sydney. In Sydney, out of 5 million habitats, roughly 700 are homeless, and compared to a city like San Francisco, California, who has 8 million habitats, has over 10,000 people without homes. They also have a marginally smaller crime rate compared to the United States and less people without a job. Well, let's get away from all the facts and statistics and look at some fun stuff, like what do they do for fun in Australia? What kind of entertainment do they enjoy? Are their media as influenced by the United States as we are here in Sweden? America, America. Or do they mainly produce their own TV shows and movies? Well, yes, it's here in Sweden. They do have mostly American TV shows and movies, mainly because the US is known to create a lot of films, and it's a part of their economy in the country. Therefore, there's no real inquiry for Australia to start popping up movies left and right, because the #1 film country in the world just happens to speak the same language as they do. But of course, there are some famous Australian movies, such as Chopper, Animal Kingdom, Romper Stomper, and Happy Feet. But certainly nothing compared to the US film industry. So if I were to rate Australia based on what I've learned during this project, I would give them a 9.5 out of 10. The only downside being all those dangerous snakes and spiders. But still, an amazing country that I would love to visit or perhaps live in someday.